exempted and not eligible for some of the financial assistance that we do have. Out of this group, kind of going back to that, these are real, the folks that we've had on this task force are real people with real lives. They did not always, their experience did not always lend to making a policy recommendation in terms of programmatic or core legislative or core budget recommendations. But I think there's some powerful lessons for us to learn. And we'll hear from Michelle in a little bit talking about the family program. Really leveraging their experience through the National Guard is going to be key to our success. Between the military department and ODDA, we provide some of the core programs for our veterans and military families. And I think one of the credit to Michelle, we always focus on the service members and the veterans. And through her leadership, we now always include families in that conversation. And if we're going to be successful with having veterans and our service members thrive in the state of Oregon, it's going to be when we're also doing the outreach and education to their family members. So we need to drive that family perspective into every one of our core programs that are supporting our veterans and service members. But it's also going to be a broader conversation about how do we get those broader partners, whether other state agencies, whether the counties, up to the feds, out to the tribes, our nonprofits, our business community, our education providers, our healthcare providers, boggles the minds in terms of the diffuse or the many issues that our military families are facing. And I think it's incumbent on the military department and ODDA to provide that convening authority and leadership through that joining community forces model and really strengthen that, knowing that together we are stronger. In that joining community forces model, it's not necessarily that we need new programs at military department or at ODDA. There's a lot of concerns as the wars wind down and as we get out of Afghanistan, or with the majority of our troops in 2014, that we potentially lose some of the funding sources, not for Michelle's family program, which has kind of been a long-standing program through the Guard, but potentially on the reintegration team in that peer-to-peer model. But looking at how do we structure and staff ourselves, both at military department and ODDA, that we are a convener and leading on building that awareness and strengthening the partnerships. So looking at what we can do on training, not just on education for our veterans and military families, but building that military culture and veterans culture awareness in all of our different agencies and partners. And then how do we strengthen the local networks, the VetNets, the military support networks at the local, county, and regional level, knowing that what works in Lake Oswego may be very different from what works in Lakeview. But it's really going to run the gamut. There's been some great